In Wexford, there's a place called Loftus Hall, where they say that, one time, so it was owned by a bunch of, like, rich folk, and it's like this, like, manor, and it's spooky.
Wait, is this the thing where the demon flew through the fucking roof?
Yeah, he flew up through the roof.
No, sorry, so tell the story from scratch, I was just making sure. I do know that story.
It was where a bunch of, like, people were at this manor playing cards in the middle of a storm, and then a guy shows up, and he's like, I am here now, and they're like, who is this mysterious man? And then he's like, so, playing cards, I see, and they're like, yes, come join us on this misty night. And then he was like, okay, and then, while he's playing cards, one of the maidens came over to, like, wipe his shoes. There was a little piece of dirt on his shoes, and then, she bent down to wipe it, and she saw that he had hooves for feet. And then she went, hooves for feet, my word! And he flew up through the roof. And he left a hole in the roof. Yeah. And it's still there to this day.
You're really happy that fucking something fell from this, like, a tree that fell.
No, that's the janitor fucking up.
Yeah,
that's like...
He fell down through the roof and smashed everything, killing it. But, I went to a tour of that place. My whole life, I built that up in my head like it was the most scary shit ever, and then I finally went to it, and it was the most lame fucking shit. Just a shitty-ass fucking burned hole in the roof. They lit it on fire or some shit.
They're playing with matches?
Well, me and Amin went to see Kings, and, there was this guy on our left, and he was with his fat, fucking nasty bitch wife.
I kept pummeling her down the stairs.
No, during the opening trailers, he was like, You want popcorn? Get you popcorn? And she's like, I don't want popcorn. You go get some for yourself. And I was like, if they're gonna do this during the movie, I'm gonna fucking freak out. I'm gonna shout at them. And when he walked through the door, he was like scratching his ass, and then he moved his arm away, and there was a gun sticking out of his pants. So I was like, I guess I'm not gonna ask him to be quiet. That's kind of scary.
Then she stood up in front of the screen and said, excuse me, everybody, I want popcorn. Can you give me some?
No, during the movie, they wouldn't shut up. They kept going like, oh, that's funny. It's like, fuck you! And during, wait, what was the last thing? The one before that, it was an Armenian man and his wife sitting directly behind me, and every single time a joke happened...
sports cars through the theater.
Every time something happened, the man went, what? And his wife would explain it to him, and he'd go, fuck you! You know, one of the first times, I was doing sexy shit with my first girlfriend, my mom and dad, like, left the house, and I was like, it is time. And I, like, brought her to my room, and, actually, no, I think we were on the living room couch, but anyway, she took off her pants, I was like, oh, and we were, like, doing stuff, and then, my mom and dad, like, pulled back in, and I saw the lights, and I was like, oh, fuck, right? And I ran to the door,
horrifying.
I was like, put on your pants, and I, like, ran to the door. And I was so stupid that I just like left my pants open and my belt open hanging down, and I answered the door and my face was all red and sweaty. And my mom and dad just looked at me like, you fucking idiot, and they just like brushed past me. I was like, oh.
I mean, what would your parents have done? Would they have been like, you're not to fuck?
Basically, I mean, I was like 15.
Yeah, that's how that goes.
Also, her dad was the guy I was scared of because he was like, he pretty much told me from the get-go, he's like, if you do anything like that, I will beat the shit out of you. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, fear of girlfriend's dad. Yeah, I can relate to that. That's the most relatable shit in the world.
One time I was at her house and we were sitting on her bed, and he came in and he saw me sitting on her bed and he got really angry. It was just because I was sitting on her bed.
Oh, I've got too many stories about this to even count. That's why I make a damn game about it.
Oh, you're so right.
Yeah, Chris, I don't think it's even point and click. I think it's just kind of wait for stuff to happen, game.
It's like a whole game of, like, those freak-out games.
It's like the maze game thing?
You do a maze and then the guy jumps out at you.
That scared me.
Chris's whole leg moved from that.
This reminds me of a screensaver I used to have on Windows 98.
Of an old lady crying?
No, it was like a haunted mansion.
for her dead child?
It was a haunted mansion. It would make scary noises, and one time my dad's friend's daughter visited from England, and I left the computer on. It scared the shit out of her at nighttime because it was making all these scary noises.
Oh.
Was that Toma or was that the game?
It was Toma.
Oh my god, I thought that was the game. I was like, that was a bold choice, holy shit.
What the fuck? Is that Satan?
That was God.
Is that Satan?
Sonic, get on the train!
Chris, so
So if you heard a booming voice that said...
That didn't sound like a fucking
said-
microphone on a train.
I told you it's fucking
If you,
God.
you stepped outside and you heard a booming voice that made all the windows on all the buildings shake, and it said, "Chris O'Neill, give me all your money."
I'd be really frightened.
And you would say...
I'd be terrified.
You would say, "It's Satan."
I would assume some fucking Illuminati shit's happening.
Well, everybody around you looks up.
Nobody knows who I am.
No, but they're all like, "What the fuck was that?"
What if everyone in the street turned and looked at me at the same time?
What if
That happened-
everybody?
Wow!
What if you could pick up everybody on the street like this?
That happened to me on a small scale once. I was walking by. I was
Stole a guy.
I was walking by a
It's okay,
Yoshinoya's, and I was thinking to myself, like, who the fuck eats at Yoshinoya's? Like, that's because I remember trying it when I was younger and I didn't like it, and I don't know why anybody else would, because it's probably not very good. Maybe it is.
Ow!
Oh,
He
he's dead.
killed a man.
But my point is, I was staring into it and thinking, who could possibly want to eat there?
Yeah.
And
I'd
then
like to eat there.
there was like 5 or 6 people sitting in there, and they all looked at me, and I got freaked out.
They all said it in unison. Us, Julian, we eat here.
You fucking jerk. Do you guys like slugs?
Slugs are okay.
Slugs are nice.
I hate slugs.
Chris, how come you hate creepy crawlies?
I don't know. I'm scared of them.
I like little beetles. They're fun.
My sister ruined my life.
She turned me into
Like
a
just
slug.
unrelated.
I used to love bugs, and then she made me fucking terrified of them because of how terrified she was of them.
What'd she do?
She
came
probably
in-
just freaked out
She
every
came
time.
in and whispered in your ear, "Chris, they're coming to get you."
There was a time when we had like bricks outside of our house just because we had extra bricks left over, and my mom was like, "Move those bricks."
And she casted a brick to bug spell on it.
No.
That terrified you.
No, I picked up a brick and it was a huge black spider on it, and I was just like, "Cool." But she screamed so loud and she was so genuinely terrified that she almost had like a panic attack, and it made me afraid of them. And this was back before Ireland even had any like actual biting spiders. Now they do for some reason.
Julian,
What?
what did you get up to this week?
What did we get up to this week? The fan fell on our heads and crushed us
true.
both.
How did that happen?
It just
Tell
happened.
me the whole
It really-
story.
yeah, why don't you tell the whole story?
Okay, I was sleeping and it was very nice.
Were you weeping?
And the couch is positioned right underneath the fan.
Yeah.
It's not right underneath the fan.
It's
It probably might have hit you, but
Julian,
it's
the blade clips the couch. It was I was sleeping and I heard loud knocking. I thought, oh, someone's at the door because we had ordered something, and I keep missing the mail person.
Yeah.
So I freaked out. I got up. I was gonna go answer the door, and then just as I get up to go over to the door, just as I'm heading over, the fan crashes down on
it's
the
a
floor
ceiling
behind
fan.
me.
There's a spinning ceiling fan.
Yeah.
Did it spook you? What was the noise you made?
I heard you shout, and then I heard because I think you said "oh" right, because you were like, "Oh, it's the mailman,"
Yes.
and you woke me up. I heard you shout, and there was a big crash, and I jumped out of bed because I constantly worry.
Fucking hard.
I constantly worry about like some horrible thing happening while I'm asleep, and then I miss it.
Do you ever flush?